well, other than football. Football in the South sets the trend. Now, there are exceptions to that. I'll give you that. You go up to North Carolina, they don't know what's going on that much with football. But you let basketball season take off. Duke and North Carolina, they get real serious about it. But certain spring sports, their women's soccer program, for instance, at North Carolina, is outstanding. There are other programs too, but generally speaking, in the South, with a few exceptions, how you do in your football season drives the train. I'll tell my chauvinistic joke, since my wife's not here today. It's a true story. I haven't embellished upon it very much. Most of you remember a young lady named the Cowgirl. Maybe you've seen or heard of her. I think her name was Jan Stinner, something like that. This was 5 or 6 years ago. We were playing the University of Miami on Labor Day weekend. It's been traditionally one of the highest watched football games in the nation. Matter of fact, if you look at the top 10 watched games using Nielsen rating, I don't know how that system worked, but they figured it out. Generally speaking, the FSU Miami game, when it was played on Labor Day weekend, Monday night, was the highest watched game of the season. That includes the national championship game. Now, the reason for that in part is the Miami FSU game is always a pretty good ball game. Usually it comes down to the last series. Somebody's going to win it or lose it. They're going to kick a field goal, score a touchdown, not score a touchdown. Something's going to happen. It's going to be a good ball game when it all gets said and done. The other thing is, it's the prelim for Monday Night Football. All the trailers, and all the announcers, and all the stuff is getting ready for professional football, and it's their dry run. Plus, opening weekend has occurred on Saturday before that. The only college ball game, the only athletic game going on that Monday night. So you get a huge audience, just absolutely huge to watch the ball game. Brent Musburger's covering the ball game for whoever it is. ABC, I think, was doing it at the time. And there's a group of co-eds, they're pretty attractive looking young ladies. They're a little bit scantily dressed. And for some reason, I guess all the cameramen happen to be men. And they have a tendency to focus on the women as opposed to the men. Y'all go fight with ABC about that, not me. And the camera's spanning around like they do, and they do the cheerleaders and stuff that they do. And they picked up on these 3 young ladies standing next to a rail there. Very attractive. And Brent Musburger makes the statement. And it's about, 10 seconds maybe at the most, that they have these 3 people. So 50,000 young men just decided to come to Florida State University. Made that as a passing comment. Now, little did he know that the next week we had a blip in applications by about 5,000, 50,000. And about 2/3 of them were men. Now, maybe it was coincidental, I don't know, but it seemed that way. Now, she was smart enough to go out there and put herself up on the web and set up an online thing, and that's another story. But the point being, all of a sudden, you use athletics as a way to enhance what's going on at your institution. People apply who were going to be biology majors and dance majors and whatever. Athletics and football gave us that ability. We happened to win the ball game because they muffed the dadgum field goal at the end, so it all worked out great. Beautiful co-ed, a lot of new applicants. Won the Cotton Pickle ball game, started off with a winning season. Things went downhill later, but the bottom line is you had enthusiasm. Athletics gives you that enthusiasm. As a president, you want that. You want to develop relationships. You want to sit down. Athletics gives you an opportunity to almost always be the icebreaker. When you go to Washington, talk to some committee on something or another to hustle a federal grant on research or superconductivity center or free electron laser or whatever it happens to be, you walk in and like anything else, you start chatting. What are you talking about? Sports. it's in the fall, probably football. It's in the spring, probably basketball, baseball, who's in the dance, are you gonna make it, whatever. If you've got a hot deal going, like is Walter gonna make it on the Olympics team? There's always some kind of an athletic conversation that takes place. Does it frustrate some on the academic side of the house? Yeah. Because at the same time, that's going on. You've got great students, great kids doing outstanding things, in biology or chemistry or whatever it happens to be. The last 4 years, not counting this year, so the last 5 years, Florida State has had 3 Rhodes Scholars in the last 5 years. No other university in the state of Florida can match that. Matter of fact, no other university, public graduate research university in the state in the United States has produced 3 Rhodes Scholars in the last 5 years. No, pretty amazing. 2 of them were athletes. Both happen to be African American made. Highly unusual. One of them, a guy named Joe O'Shea, was not an athlete. Joe was a neat guy and went to New Orleans right after Katrina. And it's the craziest story in the world. I don't know how he pulled it off yet, but basically packed up an old Chevrolet, headed to New Orleans as a kid who said, I think I can help, and went over there without the blessing of the school. We weren't doing anything. Drove into the 9th Ward, knew absolutely no one. Found an old house, found out who owned it. They said, look, they left, we don't know where they are. Set up a clinic in there, started handing out Band-Aids, aspirins, Tylenol. Went to Walgreens, said, can you give me some of this stuff? People need it. Yeah, here you can have it, just give it away. Here's what I'm gonna do. Eventually got involved with the church. The church gave him some money, took the money and parlayed into a federal grant, hired nurses and med assistants and that type of thing, and the church eventually took it over and basically now created a health fund. And for that, he came back to FSU, went on with this program and applied for the Rhodes Scholarship, and really the basis is he won. Tremendous story, outstanding story. Can't beat that story until Myron Rolle comes along. Now, Myron Rolle, outstanding student athlete, he is recruited by every university in the state of Florida and every university in the nation for that matter. He's the type of athlete that could have picked up the phone and called whomever and said, I decided to come to your university, and I promise you somebody would have been on a jet with a scholarship in his hand within hours to get there. For some reason or another, he narrowed it down to 4 institutions, one of which is Florida State. It's based on the Joe O'Shea story. Came to Florida State, and when Florida State recruited Myron Rolle as an athlete, for the first 2 days that he was on campus, he never went to the athletic department, never took him to the football stadium, never took him to the weight room, took him to a place over across campus, and basically had a little program over there that helps students apply for scholarships, Rhodes, Truman's, Fulbrights, etc. Took him to the medical school and walked him through the medical school and showed him what that was all about. Took him to the new chemistry building and let him run chemistry experiments because he was interested in breaking down protons and all that kind of stuff that I didn't totally understand. Then we took him over and introduced him to Bobby Ballard. Bobby had no idea what a proton was or a neutron or anything, but anyway, the bottom line is we recruited that kid as an athlete using an academic program that had been successful for somebody else. The day that Myron Rolle won the Rhodes Scholarship, or was awarded, if you don't win it, I suppose is the better way to put it, in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm sure most of you remember. There were 31 other winners. Can anybody tell me the name of anyone? No. Doubt it. Myron walked out of the Holiday Inn where they were, damn, it's not snow. It's leaves, okay. Myron walks out of the interview room, after he's been notified the award's been done, ABC's got cameras. They watch him get in an SUV, take him to an airport, put him on a private plane, fly him to College Station, Maryland. Another camera crew gets off, watches him get off the airplane, puts him in an SUV, police escort to the football games, broadcast nationally. You can't buy publicity like that. You cannot buy it. The only thing that was wrong with that is, you know, from my wife's perspective, is Myron goes in the locker room and starts taking off his shirt. My wife's impressed. I'm saying, for God's sake, then I'm going to watch him get undressed. I mean, it was unbelievable. The point is, one person wins a Rhodes Scholarship, tremendous opportunities, and did a tremendous job, strictly on the academic side of the ledger. Myron wins it. He won it. Basically, the reason he won it, darn good student. But his project was he went to the Seminole Reservation and set up for K through 3, I believe, a physical fitness program that helped deal with obesity of young people. And this was, remember, 4 years ago when we really hadn't got into it to the extent we have now, and created a program that's in place right now on the Seminole Reservation. Seminole tribe has taken that and given it to every other Indian reservation, and they are putting that program in place on reservation schools throughout the nation. So his program, or his story is pretty compelling also, but by having him as a football player on national TV, the publicity that the Rhodes Committee got is unbelievable. The publicity that Florida State University got, the athletic department got, and we didn't have that great of a team. But we had people saying, I'll endow a scholarship at Florida State. I'll do one in the name of Myron Rolls. Myron Rolls got more scholarships endowed in his name than I think anybody else has got in the whole athletic department, whether they be football, track, basketball, men, women, etc. It became a way for Florida State to energize. We took Myron and Roland, Garrett, and Joe, and put them on a Rhodes tour to our alumni program and through our Seminole Club, and they energized the Alumni Association.